Blue collar watches again. Welcome back. This is my latest AliExpress purchase. This is the Cadisen C8209. I ordered this on January 31st, 2023. It arrived on February 8th, 2023. Not a bad delivery time. Useless crap. Polishing cloth. Link adjustment tool. I put, for pushing the pins out. And this is the watch. I want to state that I got this watch for $72. I ordered this the last day of the January sale on January 31st. And it almost immediately, on February 1st, it's disappeared. I cannot find this on AliExpress now. Here it is in all its glory, still wrapped in all the plastic and everything. That's the unboxing. I think that's a pretty sharp watch. I picked this up for $72. And that's the reason why I bought it. As we get into the watch and I just start describing the watch, you're probably going to say, wow, that's a pretty cool watch for $72. I think so. Let me get the plastic off it and then we'll continue. Okay, getting back to it. Got it all out of the plastic. I think this watch was a slamming deal for $72. Let's start off with, it's constructed of 316L stainless steel. It says it has a 200 meter depth rating. I don't know how much I trust that at any watch. It's not certified. That's what it says. It does have a screwed on crown. Hand wind, hacks, NH35 in there. Winds smoothly. No issues screwing in the crown. No coarse threads. Winds in good. The one thing that kind of attracted me to this, I like this bezel. I just like the way, you got the brushed steel and then the polished steel in it. That's what kind of attracted me to this. And I either go for a blue dial or a gray dial. And I liked this gray dial, and that's why I opted to go with it. 120 click unidirectional bezel. Feels pretty good. It doesn't have as sharp a clicks as some other watches I have, but don't feel a lot of slop in it. Fairly tight. Here is the weight of the watch. I have not adjusted this yet, so this is with all its links in it. 162. I threw this on my wrist real quick. On my 7 3/4 inch wrist, I'm probably going to need to pull 2 links. The band on this for a $72 watch is okay. The only real there's still some plastic on there. The only downfall I really see on this band is I would like to see the fold over clasp. But other than that, for the price point of the watch, it appears to be a fairly decent band. It's a little bit flexible. Some people like them like that, some people don't. Like I said, for what I paid for the watch, I think this is pretty cool. Has a stainless case back. Got a little diver helmet on there. And I've said this numerous times. This is sapphire. We're going to test this in a second. If you're going to give me sapphire and then mineral on the other side, what's the point of giving it a 200 meter rating? Because it's probably really not. And like I said, none of these are certified. None of these are tested. But this is a sapphire crystal. I really got this turned up. Sapphire crystal. Can't beat that. The watch comes in at 41 millimeters in circumference, and this is a 20 millimeter band. Make sure this is zeroed. What do we got for thickness? got the plastic on the back. I would say probably 13. So not a very overly thick watch. 20 millimeters there, tapering to 18. So typical band size. Crown guard. I like my watches to have a crown guard. I don't typically bang them on stuff. It's just a little added protection. I believe they say that this watch is homaging the tag. I think it's the Aqua Racer. I seen a picture just beside the tag, and I'm 99.9% sure it was the Aqua Racer. And it's pretty much a spot-on copy. Let's get this sized and we'll go from there. All right, so I took 2 links out of this watch. Fits pretty good. The one thing I want to point out on this band, it's not a spectacularly great band. It's not a horrible band either. Just the pins for the band, and it only has 1 micro adjustment, but that should work for most people. And like I said, I took 2 links out of this, so this would on my 7 3/4 inch wrist, this would probably fit like 8 1/4 to 8.5 inch wrist. So if you're a big dude, this watch should work out for you. All right, let's go do a lume shot. Okay, so the lume on this watch is pretty good. It has C3 and BGW9. There's some BGW9 in the hands. Let's get the lume shot. That's pretty impressive lume for a $72 watch. And I'm used to buying a rather inexpensive AliExpress watch and just saying it has lume. I don't expect it to be of any good quality. This lume is of decent quality. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up with this segment. This is not my first Cadisen. I really like Cadisen watches. I think for the money spent, I don't think I paid $80 for over either one of them. I have the one, I think they call it the Cadisen. That's a good looking watch. I really like what they did with the bezel on this one, and that's kind of what drew me into it. And you kind of got somewhat of a brushed finish with the polished mixed in. I like the dimensions and the contours of this watch. Good looking watch. And I feel like Cadisens are undervalued. I'm not saying this. I don't want them to start raising their prices. If you put a Seiko name on this watch, that'd probably be about a $300 watch. But I also know that this is probably a clone NH35 in there. It's probably not a legit Seiko NH35, but it's still an NH35 in there. All the batons on this are applied. I really dig the dial on this thing. You can tell my age there. I'm saying dig it. I like that dial. Cadisen appears to be painted on, as does an automatic and the rest of the writing. But the batons, I like the yellow marker on the second hand, kind of sets it off. I like the hands on this watch. They're not really so much a traditional diver hands, more like the sword hands. I like those. And it's a pretty good little watch. The one thing I wanted to, I think I said this earlier, this watch has disappeared off AliExpress. I don't understand why they did that. Is it sold out? Possibly. This was just released as of January 2023. This is one of their new watches. If you continue, there's probably like 5 or 6 other guys that have done videos, reviews on this watch. And Cadisens, I personally believe these are better than Pagani design. I think the build quality is the same, and I think that Cadisen puts slightly better bracelets on their watches. And that's why I would rate this better than Pagani. I'm sure there are people that will disagree with me, but Cadisen makes a nice watch. They're relatively new on the scene. I can't remember the exact date when they started, but they're probably within 10 years of starting their watch manufacturing. Pretty nice watches. I'm assuming this will pop back up. Like I said, immediately after I purchased this, it went from $72. When I clicked on the link, again, it went from $72 to $322. This is not worth $322, but it's certainly worth $72. I would say if you can pick this watch up, I'm sure it'll pop back up. If you can pick this up for sub 100, you're getting a good deal. You're getting a lot of watch for your money. So I recommend this watch. I don't know if I did a wrist shot, but the band is okay. I'll keep this band on here. It's a keeper band. I just like the fold over safety clasp. That way this ain't catching on stuff. 2 links removed. That's what it looks like on my 7 3/4 inch wrist. Fits well. I think this, for people with a slightly smaller wrist, it might do okay because the way it sits. I like when watches do that, when they hug your wrist. I like when they do that. It makes them appear somewhat small. You know, guys with the smaller wrists, they can pull them off because of the way they sit. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I feel like I'm starting to just babble. I would put a link to this, and in the future, if I find a link to this, a usable link to this, I will post it. But that's it for now.